Welcome back, everyone. This is Sheepdog Smokey, and this is one that unfortunately we're seeing more more of than we have in many years. The story, which was actually happened today, is that a West Virginia highway was shut down after a man threatens the president and the Pentagon. Now, if we look here, we have Cam Vanderhost as the rider here, but I-68 in West Virginia was shut down after a routine traffic stop took an ugly turn. Now, they do have an update that several news outlets now cite an AP report stating no explosives were found in the vehicles. Police dogs indicated explosive residue could be present, but a follow-up search revealed no explosive materials. Motor1.com continues to wait for comment from both the FBI and the West Virginia State Police on the situation. I'm going to do a non sequitur here. And this really proves why I watch my local news and then go to basically social media for links or YouTube. But this is one where the story was reported. I do not remember any mention of the idiot's name. And in an update, and this is an update in the last probably in a matter of a few hours, that there is a report that says no explosives were found. The dogs indicated there was possible residue, but they're just going to wait for a comment. They're not going to say, oh, look, these evil police were wrong. They're not going to say, oh, look, the news is trying to hide. They're saying, here's what the report says. We're going to stop, and we're going to wait. But police and federal agents shut down a section of Interstate 68 in Preston County, West Virginia, Wednesday morning after a 42-year-old man was pulled over and began making threats to kill the president and blow up the Pentagon. The subject vehicle was stopped around 10:30 a.m. What started as a routine traffic stop quickly grew in scope and severity when the man began making threats and was subsequently arrested. The vehicle was stopped roughly 200 miles from the White House along the 113-mile stretch of freeway that runs through West Virginia and into Maryland. Police searched the man's car and found a gun and explosive powder. According to Captain Shalon Oglesby of the West Virginia State Police, officers are still investigating, along with the FBI and Secret Service. Apparently, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF, were on the scene as well. No further details have been released by the police. Local news station WBOI Channel 12 reports the highway was reopened around 2:30 p.m. Police acted quickly to reroute displaced motorists, setting up detours with cones and patrol cars, although jams still developed. Metro News reports that it spoke with Dominion Post reporter Ben Conley, who by chance was caught in the traffic jam. Obviously, there's a lot of people pulling off at the Brewster Mills exit up here confused, asking what's going on, talking to one another, trying to give each other directions, Conley said. While being stuck in traffic for several hours and getting lost, looking for a detour is an awful way to spend a Tuesday morning. It could have been a whole lot worse. Motor1.com has reached out to both the FBI and West Virginia State Police for more information. It is a developing story. This is how the news should be written. It is the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how. There is no why here. Unfortunately, were this done by Stelter, Acosta, Cooper, Maddow, any of them, we would be hearing how this is somehow the fault of the people targeted. That this is due to systemic racism, even though I don't even know if they mentioned the race of the suspect. We would get so much why that the other questions would be buried. This is literally the who, what, when, where, and how. Within hours of the story being broken, there was an update that says they didn't find explosives, the dogs indicated residue. I can tell you, personal experience here. In 2009, my younger brother was working for a sheep farmer in Kansas. If you've ever been on any working farm that has livestock, the admonition to watch where you step should be the first thing in your head leaving the house or your car. Now, I was still in school at the time. I had actually finished my classes on the Friday before, or I'm sorry, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving that year. We had Wednesday through Friday off. We were out early on Tuesday, and I went and caught a plane. Met my mother in, I believe it was Kansas City. I'm not 100% sure. May have been Wichita. And We drove to where my brother was working, and we had Thanksgiving. And then on Saturday, she took me to Denver, which was the only flight I could get back. Ironically, about as close as where I flew into, and I flew back. And I was detained by the TSA because they thought they found explosives on my boots. It was sheep crap. Uh, yeah, think back to the 1995 Edward Arm or the Murrow Federal Building fertilizer. So residue, and this is after I wiped my boots down before getting into her car and left the rag with my little brother. This is after walking around at a couple of places in between that farm and Denver. This is many hours after I'd been walking where it could have gotten on. They detected it. So to say a police dog indicated is the right thing to do, and then to come back and say there are reports that there wasn't anything there. That's the way the reporting should be. This story is, I mean, honestly, we need Cam here to teach 90% of the mainstream media who purport themselves as journalists how to report the news. Now, I don't know Cam, being that this is something happening out of West Virginia and this is Motor1.com news. I'm betting he's probably out in that area. But I don't know from this if Cam is a liberal, a conservative, a moderate, a libertarian. I don't know. And I shouldn't get that from a news story. This story tells me what happened, where, when, and how, and all but the idiot's name. It tells me that law enforcement worked quickly. It tells me that they are working together. And it tells me it's a story I want to follow. Now, I'm not going to get into the why. I know that for as long as I've been alive, there have been idiots hell-bent on committing evil against other people. We know that John Hinckley Jr. shot Reagan. A few days later, Reagan told his nurse, I want to redo that take, showing Reagan was pretty much couldn't be phased, which I love. But that was 30 plus years ago. We know that it's just unfortunately unavoidable because there are evil people in the world. I mean, it's just that's all there is to it. We're not hearing, of course, anyone call for car control or bomb control or anything like that because, one, it's not a conservative who supposedly attacked a liberal but will ultimately be proven to not have happened. It's not Jussie Smollett, who claims two white guys in MAGA hats shouted this is MAGA country and then got on the Razor train or the L train or whatever, and there was no footage of anything. It's not anything like that. This is something that I doubt we'll see on CNN, NBC, CNBC, or the like, other than maybe just a mention. Although I wouldn't put it past Maddow or Joe and Mika or any of them to blow the story way out of proportion. Honestly, at this point, I don't know more than what this says. And until I know more, I'm not going to speculate, other than to say the person stopped is obviously dangerous and needs to be kept away from society. And that exists in all spectrums of political thought. But I wanted to bring this to you because I love this article and it honestly is something that we need to see more of. It's why I typically get my news from social media, where I get a few characters and a link. And then from that link, I get other links and other stories and other versions of it. And I can make up my own damn mind. I've virtually given up on professional journalists. But that's really about it for this one. So make sure to check the description. You'll see an email where you can request content for the channel. I've forgotten to say it in a couple of others, but if I do pick your content and I do a video on it, you'll have the opportunity to get a free copy of the Constitution. It's a pocket Constitution, something that honestly I think every adult should have. As always, make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe so you stay up to date so that you can keep up with what I'm looking at. And until next time, everyone have a wonderful afternoon.